On the edge of the world, where the ocean crashes against jagged cliffs, Jason Statham emerged from the shadows of his past. A skilled ex-special forces operative, his experiences forged him into a formidable fighter, feared by enemies and respected by allies. Haunted by memories of covert missions gone awry, he remained driven by an unwavering commitment to justice, ever ready to take down those who exploit the vulnerable. And stark contrast, Emily Blunt was a former intelligence agent with quick reflexes and cunning resourcefulness that had seen her through countless high-stakes operations. Her sharp intellect made her an asset in a world fraught with danger, but it was an insatiable desire for redemption that propelled her forward. Together, they found themselves on this isolated island not merely for survival but united by a shared purpose: to prevent a catastrophic theft from falling into mercenary hands. Their destinies intertwined, they braced themselves for the challenges ahead. The island loomed before them, a forbidding mix of jagged cliffs and dense, shadowy forests that seemed to pulse with unseen dangers. Waves crashed violently against the rocks, sending up sprays of salty mist that mingled with the scent of damp earth and rotting vegetation. This isolated paradise, beautiful yet treacherous, was shrouded in an air of menace, where every rustle in the underbrush hinted at lurking threats. As Jason and Emily ventured deeper, they navigated narrow paths lined with sharp stones and sporadically collapsing ledges. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy overhead, creating pools of darkness that concealed the island's secrets. Hidden traps awaited those who tread carelessly, from venomous snakes coiled amongst roots to the sudden drop of hidden cliffs in this wild terrain. Isolation was both a cloak and a weapon for the mercenaries who called it home. With each step, the duo realized that they were not just fighting for survival but were also racing against time to reclaim control over this hostile landscape. With the island's dangers looming around them, Jason and Emily steeled themselves for the task ahead, recovering a stolen data chip that contained sensitive intelligence crucial to national security. This chip, once protected by layers of encryption and safeguarded by elite operatives, had recently fallen into the hands of mercenaries who thrived on chaos and corruption. The two knew that this wasn't just a mission. It was a race against time. The information on the chip could expose undercover agents and compromise operations across the globe if misused. As they strategized, they recalled snippets of intel they had gathered about the mercenaries. These ruthless fighters had fortified a makeshift base somewhere on the island, using its natural defenses as an advantage. Determined to infiltrate this stronghold, Jason and Emily exchanged ideas about their approach. Each detail mattered. One misstep could tip off their enemies or even cost them their lives. Their shared resolve ignited a spark of hope amidst the chaos, pushing them forward into the unknown. As dawn broke, a haze hung over the island, shrouding Jason and Emily's arrival in an eerie stillness. They approached by boat, their eyes scanning the rugged coastline for signs of life. The waves churned violently against the shore, but they navigated with precision, arriving at a secluded cove cloaked in shadows. With the echoes of the distant ocean behind them, the duo disembarked quietly, instantly alert to their surroundings. The terrain was challenging. Rocky outcrops jutted from the ground and dense underbrush concealed traps that could impede their progress. Together, they moved like phantoms through the foliage, sticking to natural cover to avoid detection. Every crack of a branch underfoot heightened their awareness of potential threats. As they ascended a steep slope toward their mission objective, sweat beaded on their brows. This unforgiving landscape was just as much an enemy as the mercenaries they sought to confront. Yet with each step forward, their resolve solidified, propelling them deeper into enemy territory. As Jason and Emily stealthily advanced through the underbrush, they soon caught sight of the mercenaries' camp, a fortified encampment nestled between towering cliffs and cloaked in shadows. The atmosphere buzzed with tension, punctuated by the harsh laughter of the mercenaries as they trained for potential confrontations. At the center of this ruthless group stood their leader, Victor Koval, a notorious figure with a reputation for brutal tactics and cunning strategies. With an imposing stature and a cold gaze that seemed to pierce through the darkness, Koval commanded loyalty through fear. His mercenaries were not just hired guns. They were a well-oiled machine, capable of executing complex operations without hesitation. Jason and Emily understood the threat Koval posed. His men were ruthless, willing to do whatever it took to protect their interests. As they assessed the layout of the camp from their concealed vantage point, They realized that any misstep could alert Koval and his forces, putting their mission and their lives at grave risk. As Jason and Emily finalized their reconnaissance, a rustle in the underbrush snapped their attention. Out of the shadows emerged a pair of mercenaries. Their weapons drawn and aggression palpable. Without hesitation, Jason sprang into action, using his training to swiftly disable one attacker with a precise strike, while Emily covered him, expertly firing a tranquilizer dart that incapacitated the other. The initial skirmish quickly escalated as more mercenaries appeared. Alerted by the commotion, Jason and Emily seamlessly coordinated their movements, demonstrating an impressive level of teamwork born from mutual trust. Jason took the lead once again, using hand-to-hand combat techniques to fend off close attackers, while Emily provided strategic support, laying low their adversaries with well-placed shots. Amidst the chaos, they faced relentless waves of mercenaries eager to protect their territory. Each moment pressed them further against the edge as they pushed back with calculated precision and grit. But it was clear. This first confrontation was only a prelude to the greater challenges that lay ahead. After the skirmish, Jason and Emily found a hidden alcove where they could catch their breath and regroup. Leaning against the cool stone, they quickly assessed the situation, their minds racing with possibilities. "Victor Koval won't take this lightly," Jason said, scanning their surroundings. "We need to hit them hard but smart." Emily nodded in agreement, pulling out a tattered map of the mercenary camp she had acquired during their surveillance. As they studied the layout, Emily pointed to a less guarded entry point on the southern side. "If we approach from here at night, we can use the shadows to our advantage," she suggested, her voice steady with determination. Jason added, "We'll need distractions, something to draw attention away from our main goal." Pooling their ideas, they decided on a multi-tiered strategy. Emily would create a diversion while Jason focused on infiltrating the command tent to locate the data chip. With their plan set, they felt invigorated and ready to confront whatever lay ahead. As night enveloped the island, Jason and Emily moved with silent precision toward the mercenary camp. Using their knowledge of the terrain, they navigated the rocky outcrops and dense foliage, blending seamlessly into the shadows. Their objective was to gather intelligence on Koval's operations before executing their plan. Positioned near the edge of the camp, they observed mercenaries patrolling in predictable patterns. Emily whispered tactical suggestions in Jason's ear, recalling her training in covert surveillance. They meticulously noted the locations of guard posts and potential blind spots, identifying opportunities to exploit. Meanwhile, Jason began setting traps using the natural landscape, rigging branches to fall and strategically placing rocks that would create noise and confusion. Each trap was designed to delay pursuers, allowing them precious seconds to escape if detected. With reconnaissance complete and traps laid, they prepared for their infiltration. Their hearts raced as adrenaline coursed through their veins. Tonight was crucial to reclaiming control from Koval's ruthless grip. The tension in the air was palpable as Jason and Emily launched their all-out assault on the mercenary camp. A series of explosions from the traps Jason had set sent shockwaves through the encampment, momentarily stunning the guards and creating chaos among the mercenaries. Emily moved swiftly, leveraging the confusion to disable enemies with agility, using her weapons and hand-to-hand combat skills to great effect. Jason burst into the command tent, his heart pounding as he evaded bullets and swiftly took down anyone in his path. With every skirmish, the stakes escalated. He could hear Koval's men rallying under their brutal leaders. Shouts. Emily skillfully covered his back, firing precision shots to hold off reinforcements while Jason searched for the data chip as they fought side by side against relentless waves of attackers. Fatigue seeped into their bones, but neither wavered. The culmination of their training, instincts, and teamwork pushed them forward, forging ahead into the eye of the storm, determined to reclaim what had been stolen from them. As the dust settled from the chaos of the camp, Jason and Emily finally found themselves confronting Victor Koval in a dimly lit command tent. The mercenary leader stood imposing, a cruel smile etched across his face as he brandished a weapon, ready to fight. "You thought you could take me down?" he taunted, eyes glinting with malice. Jason stepped forward, his grip steady on his firearm. "We're here to end this," he declared, and with a nod, Emily flanked him, her own weapon aimed squarely at Koval. The room crackled with tension as they exchanged words that revealed their mutual contempt. They were no longer just adversaries. This was personal, and in a blur of movement, the standoff erupted into an intense confrontation. Koval launched himself at Jason, showcasing brutal combat skills that matched his reputation. Meanwhile, Emily engaged in a swift dance of tactics and agility, outmaneuvering his henchmen with finesse. Each strike reflected their growth, Jason's unyielding determination and Emily's newfound confidence, pushing them both to their limits as they fought for justice amidst the noise of battle. As the dust settled from the chaotic confrontation, Jason and Emily emerged victorious. They sifted through the remnants of their battle in the command tent and quickly located the data chip nestled within Koval's secure compartment, a sense of accomplishment washing over them. Holding it up triumphantly against the dim light, Jason turned to Emily with a grin. "We did it." Tension that had once filled the air transformed into a palpable relief. They had not only completed their mission but had solidified their partnership through adversity. Reflecting on their harrowing journey, facing mercenaries and traversing treacherous terrain, a deep bond formed, rooted in trust and shared purpose. As they made their way back through the now-deserted camp, they exchanged thoughts about what lay ahead. "This was just one chapter," Emily remarked, her eyes glittering with determination. "There are more battles to fight." Jason nodded in agreement. Together, they were ready to take on whatever challenges awaited them. Their paths intertwined by fate, they stepped forward into a future filled with promise and adventure. As Jason and Emily made their way back through the remnants of the mercenary camp, a faint hum of activity still lingered in the air, a stark reminder that their battle was but a fragment of a much larger war. Just as they were about to exhale in relief, an ominous sound reached their ears. Distant. Helicopters roared overhead, casting shadows that flickered across their path. "Looks like Koval had some backup," Jason remarked, his expression shifting from triumph to concern. Emily's eyes narrowed as she scanned the horizon, realizing that new threats were already on the move. This victory had opened doors to unforeseen challenges, and they could feel the weight of what was coming. Determined to not let their success be in vain, Emily turned to Jason with a fierce grin. "We've dealt with worse," she said confidently. With that, they set off into the gathering twilight, ready to confront whatever new dangers awaited them. Two formidable forces united, stepping boldly into the unknown.